Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are and wherever you may be listening. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast is sponsored by Mr. Cunningham and Forest Spring, and honestly needs no introduction. Shamokin, Mount Carmel, Coal Bucket. My name's Jim Lesko. Aside me is my brother Dan Lesko. Jose Gonzalo, well, we thought we'd have him in here with us, but he's going to support us from the sideline. And together we are coming to you live from a soggy Kemp Memorial Stadium in Cole Township, Pennsylvania for what is the 70th edition, Dan?
Wow.
Of the Coal Bucket game tonight. And we will pause here for the national anthem.
Thank you.
Back here at Kemp Memorial Stadium for, again, the 70th edition of the Coal Bucket game tonight. So what we had, Dan, to get started is we've got the Red Tornadoes on one side wearing white.
Yep.
We've got the Indians on the other side wearing purple. So
Correct.
they're going to oppose each other.
Yes.
And they're both going to be opposed by the elements tonight, the wind and the rain.
Yeah, Jim, and these crazy conditions today are going to be the X factor in this game. I mean, there's a lot of people who are saying one way or the other it's going to be an advantage for one team or the other, but really it's just going to be a disadvantage for both teams.
Right.
And I really think that that's what it is. And it's going to be a big game where ball security, the 4 points of contact, all that stuff is really, really stressed. I think that's going to be there's going to be some sloppy stuff going on out there. It's just one of those games, and it's pretty. It seems like it's going to be a real old-fashioned Coal Region clash.
Yeah, so we're going to see how that goes. You look in the stands, you see umbrellas, you see tents, ponchos, all kinds of stuff. You see umbrellas and ponchos on the sideline, too. But once we get in between the lines, the Red Tornadoes won the coin toss tonight, deferred, so the Indians will be receiving. Dan, so we'll see their offense first. What do you think the Indians need to do tonight to break what is a 24-year consecutive win streak the Red Tornadoes own in this game?
So I'm going to take you right to my keys for the game. So we're going to say Indians, ball security, leave your mark, and ball security.
Steller's kick is going to get through the wickets there of Cedar into the end zone for a touchback. So what do you mean when you talk about leave your mark?
So leave your, every year for these Shamokin Indians in the past, 24 years, they've wanted to, every senior class wants to be the one to take that Coal Bucket home, to break the streak. So obviously that's what these seniors want to do. They want to be remembered as the team that got the Coal Bucket back.
And we'll see that offense first again, led by the quarterback, number 15, Brett Nye. And of course, do everything halfback, 34, Madden. But they'll come out in a single back set with two receivers to the left, a single receiver to the right. And Nye's going to throw, and he's hit immediately. It'll fall to the turf, incomplete, 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Yeah, that single step drop there for Nye really didn't give him enough separation, and that push from that big defensive line up front of the Red Tornadoes really affected that throw. And that's something a little different than what we're going to be expecting to see. Coach Hajnowski runs pretty much what you would consider a typical offense from a NFL fullback.
Oh, there's a little confusion there. Ball's on the ground. We'll see who's on top. The Red Tornadoes have it. So the first break goes the Red Tornadoes' way. Second play from scrimmage. Trouble with the transfer center to quarterback. The Red Tornadoes dive on it. It'll be 1st and 10 Mount Carmel inside the 20.
And Jim, I'll take myself right into it now since the Red Tornadoes offense is coming out on the field. Their keys for the game for the Big Red: ball security, get a lead early, and ball security. That's we talked about it. It's going to be an issue tonight. The Indians, it's already bit them. So now the Red Tornadoes want to take advantage of their key and get up early, get a good start here.
And it's going to be Davitt for the Red Tornadoes, and he's in the open field, and Davitt's going to be in for the Red Tornado touchdown. One play, one score, 20 yards, and my goodness, do the Red Tornadoes appreciate having that young man back tonight.
Yes, they do, Jim, and having him in there offensively, I mean, it's going to be a big thing to have him back defensively as well, as long as we see him out there. And you're right. Unfortunately for Davitt, after having his first 100-yard game of the season at Loyalsock, has to miss the game last week at home against Warrior Run due to an injury. So it is great to have him back, and he definitely made his mark to start this game off.
Pay attention here to the extra point. A lot of transfer points there. Verano does a good job of corralling that and getting it down. Stellar's kick is no good, so he'll stay at 114 for his career here at Mount Carmel. But Dan, I mean, we've seen a lot in these games over the years, but 15 seconds, 15 seconds of game time have ticked off the clock.
Yeah. And
the Red Tornadoes deferred the kick. They didn't take the ball first.
Right.
And they've got the first points on the board.
Yeah, and that's I mentioned it earlier, and that's going to be what kind of goes on this week or tonight is with this weather. It's going to be which team plays the cleanest game is going to be the team that takes the cold bucket home. Whoever plays the cleanest is going to be the team that walks away with the victory.
And we knew coming into tonight, as we've known all season, most Mount Carmel games, that it's likely to be one up front, and certainly the offensive line gave us no reason to doubt that on the only snap we've seen so far tonight.
And the Big Red defensive line as well. Yeah. The Big Red defensive line, that first play before the fumble, they get a huge push and kind of throw Nye off his rhythm there.
Stellar's kick. It's a little higher, so you'll take it at the 9. Try to get off that right side. Comes back somewhat towards the middle. The Red Tornadoes do a good job of stopping the return there at the 30-yard line.
And you see, Jim, we touched on it last week. The Red Tornadoes continuing to go with that kickoff from the hash mark.
Yeah, that kind of shortens the number of how much of the field you have to defend. But here's a tough look for the Red Tornadoes. So number 3, Tom Davitt. Again, we just talked about having him back tonight. He's going to limp off the field after that. Now, the one question, Dan, that we have to have coming in is I'm not sure how much he was expected to play tonight anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
But now we'll see Madden. He'll go right into Verano at the 35. It does a good job upending him, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and this Shamokin run game is tough out there. So it's definitely going to be a challenge up front, and it's going to be a game, like you said, up front. And yeah, another person we should mention we see out there, number 24, Julian Stellar, back in action on defense here. He did only the kicking duty last week.
Well, and the other linebacker out there with him in Davitt's stead is Widener.
Yeah.
And Madden carrying Red Tornadoes with them out near midfield, so a good run there for a first down, and there's a Red Tornado down, and that time it's Verano.
Yeah. And, Jim, Madden's a pretty strong, pretty solid kid. So you're going to have to hit him, around the waist or below if you want to bring him down. So
now Verano will come to the sideline to get looked at. He'll be spelled by Diaz, and Davitt will be back in there too as we see Widener come to the sideline. So a little bit going on here. The refs will get the play clock set up, but man, is that rain coming down.
Yes, it is, and it's pretty heavily, and it's been light throughout the day, but pretty much from 5:30 on today, Jim, it has been steady.
I formation from the Indians. It's going to be that quick throw, and they're going to go right for Cedar, and Nye throws it out of bounds.
Good coverage over there by Diaz, who just checked in there for Verano. It looked like with Diaz checking into the corner, because Verano's normally at a safety spot. They had Diaz over there at the corner. It looks like it bumped Feliciano back to a safety.
Well, you know, the Red Tornadoes, they got a lot of guys with sacks, Dan. Obviously, Chicatano leading the way with 5.5, and you wonder if that's where these one-step drops are coming from.
Yeah.
But this time it's Madden. He goes right up middle into Red Tornado territory, across the 45, down to the 43. It'll be another first down.
Yeah. And it looks like, it's a lot of teams have had rough sledding up the middle against this Red Tornado defense. So it looks like the Indians have kind of found a little crease there that they could exploit. So they're going right after it. They keep pounding Madden up the middle.
Again, I formation, a single receiver to either side. It's Madden again, right up the middle. Powering through over the 35 to the 34. Give him 8 on that one. It's going to be 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Jim, it's no surprise that we're seeing a steady diet of Madden here. He carried the ball 38 times last week for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns against in their loss to Danville.
Goodness. This time it's Frash, who's got 250 yards rushing on the season of his own, but he won't get any to add to the total there as the Red Tornadoes do a good job stopping him. Nestico, Chicatano, and Bradley on the stop.
Yeah, and that defensive line there, if they don't get, they do a pretty good job. It's difficult for anybody to get started unless, like Madden's got a full head of steam coming from that deep back set. Fullback really doesn't have a chance to get going right before he gets contacted there at the line.
And it's going to be Madden behind Frash. He'll get the first down. Not much more, but he'll get enough. So it'll be 1st and 10 Indians.
Yeah, and these long drives for the Indians, especially in a game where it's sloppy out there. Sometimes, we talk about the time of possession, wanting to control the ball. But sometimes in games like this, you don't really want to control the time of possession. You want to score quickly and give it back to the other team and give them the opportunity to have the ball in their hands and make mistakes. So these long drives, it's every time that there's more opportunities for transfer issues, things like that.
And there's another one right on cue, Dan. Nye's able to pick that one up and pick up maybe a yard. So the Indians avoid disaster there.
Yeah, I like when things work out well after I say them. But yeah, so that's the thing with these long drives. I mean, Madden, it's going to wear down the Red Tornado defense, but at the same time, there's just always that chance that there's going to be a mistake happen.
8.5 left in the first quarter. The Red Tornadoes scored quickly, up 6-0. Indians driving. It's going to be Madden. Now they're going to go to the side. He cuts back inside. The Red Tornadoes do a good job of staying home and only get a few out to the 26.
Yeah, I didn't get to see who made the tackle there, but Davitt did a good job coming from that linebacker spot. As Madden started to turn that outside and get to the corner, Davitt came up and filled and sent him back inside to hold him to a short gain.
Yeah, sent him back further than I thought even. So it's the ball's placed at the 27 for 3rd and about 7. And this time it's going to be Frash. He was the deep man in the I formation that time, and he is close to a first down if he did get it. Got a little obstruction here.
And that's the old-fashioned H play right there. It's the play side guard pulls, the lead back fills, and then you give it to that second back. It's a fake handoff and then a handoff, and that's actually something that Coach Carm ran years ago when I was playing.
1st and 10 from the 20. This time it's Madden off the right side. He'll be pushed back inside, but he'll pick up a couple. Call it this. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 16, gain of 4. 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and that again was that H play there. They just went back the other way with Frash getting the fake this time and Madden getting the handoff as opposed to vice versa.
This time it's Madden right up the middle again. Stellar looked like he upended him. Madden will fall forward near the 10. He'll be close to the first down. It's going to be about 2 yards short.
Yeah, and again, this is a these long drives. This is like a red tornado offense staple. Putting together these 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of thing. Really staying on schedule, and it looks like the Indians now doing the same thing, getting themselves into a third and manageable here.
3rd and 3. They'll stick with what works. It'll be Madden, and I don't think he got there, Dan.
He might be just short.
It's like they're at the 10. It's going to be 4th and about a foot.
Yeah, this is going to be a big play here. This is a big play here early on in the game here for both teams. If the Indians can convert this, they're going to be on their way to putting some points on the board. If the Red Tornadoes can get this big stop, it would be huge. Number 8, Chase Pencil, checking in there, bringing the play in.
If they're going to go with what works, it'll be Madden. And I don't know if he got it, Dan.
I think he's going to be short, Jim.
The Red Tornadoes stopped him right at the line.
Oh, they gave it to him. First down.
Yep, 1st and 10.
And that was close, Jim. That was real close. The Red Tornadoes gave them everything they could there. And that was really close.
We'll see what happens. 5.5 now. Indians still with the ball. Again, we talked about it. The Red Tornadoes scored with 11:45 left, so even after the kickoff, this is a 6-minute drive here.
Yeah.
The Indians are on. And it's Madden again. And he's running hard. He'll be down inside the 2. We'll see if he got to the 1. It looks like they're going to say the 2. It'll be 2nd and goal from there.
Yeah, again, Madden really just chewing up yards on this drive, and Frash being the good counter punch kind of for this Indians offense.
One more time, why not? Madden, but I think he stood up.
I think so, Jim.
So it'll be 3rd and goal now from.
And I got to give the Red Tornado defense tightened up there, and that's a huge play defensively. But you got to give credit to Madden to have the wherewithal not to try and reach that ball over the goal line, especially with how wet it is out, Jim. That's a recipe for disaster. You decide to reach for that goal line, and then that ball comes loose.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times over the last few weeks. We'll see what they do on 3rd and 1. It's Madden again, and that one he's in untouched. So after a Indian turnover and a quick Red Tornado score, the Indians take the ball the length of the field, about 70 yards here, Dan.
Yeah, and,
knotted at 6 with 4:12 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Jim, looking at the way this game's played out so far, we got 2 scores in the first quarter. This is, I gotta be honest with you, this is not exactly what I expected. With how sloppy of a game it was, I expect this to be a 7-6 game, but 2 touchdowns within the first 8 minutes of the game, and that could really change things.
Carson Okoski's kick is up, and that's good. So the Indians will take a 7-6 lead here. Again, it's early on, but it's you wonder what those points are gonna, how impactful those points are gonna be as the night goes on, Dan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, the Indians, after that little issue on the first drive there, do a good job of coming back, getting the ball, playing clean. Even they did have the one little mishap there with the fumbled snap, but Nye did a good job of getting back on it and doing what he could. And the Indian offense kind of just worked their way down the field and ran all the way down. It was a long drive.
Yep, and a couple things we want to talk about tonight. Again, of course, we've talked about the rain, right? We talk about the rain. You got the players out there in the rain, the coaches in the rain, the cheerleaders in the rain, the band is in the rain, the student section's in the rain. And don't forget, we also have the WKMC TV studio out here preparing in the rain, setting up in the rain, doing everything they can to make sure that you can sit home and stay dry. So big shout out to WKMC TV for putting this on.
Yes.
Terrific as usual. And we'll see here where the kick from Okoski goes. It's going to be a low liner. It's going to get to that last group. It'll be Farinato at the 15. He's going to get down the sideline, he'll slide down. See where they mark him out of bounds. It looks like they're going to say the 27. So it'll be 1st and 10 Mount Carmel from there.
Yeah, we'll see now. Like we said, and we are going to see. Normally, the Red Tornadoes they'll shuffle backs in and out on different series, but since the last series was only one play, that Davitt touchdown, looks like they're going to go with the same backfield here. Except I don't know if we haven't seen Verano go back on defense, so we're going to have to keep an eye out to see if we see a steady dose of Farinato here.
This will be the second one to Davitt. It's the same play. Does a nice job making a move. He'll be tackled from behind by number 6, Knowledge Artist Jones. And he came looking for the ball, Dan. That was
yeah.
he hit a big swipe there. I thought he might pop it out.
Yes, and that's one of those, especially coming from behind, making that tackle.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones where you don't really see it coming and you can't cover up. So that's a tough one. Good job by Davitt of having a good cradle on that ball and not giving it up.
So it'll be, again, Red Tornadoes, they operate out of the shotgun double wing. It's Widener and Farinato to the right. This time it's going to be Feliciano himself, though, right up the middle. Again, Feliciano, the Red Tornadoes' leading rusher. He'll have the first down and more. He'll be out near midfield.
Yeah, that's a good job there by Feliciano doing what he getting up in there and just, everything tonight is going to be ball security, covering that ball up as soon as you're about to make contact. Instead of fighting for the extra yard, just go down, live to hang on to the ball. So good job there by Feliciano, getting a nice chunk and then hanging on to that football.
This time it'll be Farinato. Now he's going to go inside, but he's going to run right into Artis Jones, who's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's going to ride Farinato down, but he will get about 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, that's seems like this is going to be a back and forth game here, Jim, with these dueling running backs.
Yeah, one other thing, we talked about it before, Dan, that Red Tornado offensive line, Kelly Nestico, Moser, Geary, and Shimko out there.
Yep.
At the tight end, Chicatano, one side, a nice thing in the paper about him, but the other tight end, Liam Bradley tonight, Schultz out with an illness.
Okay.
But this one will be Feliciano again, right up the middle. And they're going to grab him high, and that's not going to work. He's a strong kid. The Red Tornadoes do a good job pushing that forward. It's another Mount Carmel first down.
Yes, it is. That's a really good, tough run there by Feliciano. And you're right. These all backs on both sides of the field tonight are tough runners, and they're going to be tough to take down.
Yeah, we saw that last week. So last week, even in the win against Warrior Run, Andrew Lukowski had a big run that got him over 100 yards. So the Red Tornadoes have 9 different guys right now, Dan, that have rushed for 100 yards this season. And there's another one of them, Davitt. He's going to get held up at the 31, so give him 4. And we're kind of in this cycle of 4-yard gains and then first downs.
Yeah, just chewing up yards at will.
That actually looked like 6 yards, so excuse me. I got a bad angle on that one, Dan.
That's all right. It'll happen.
Clock ticks near a minute 30. Indians on top, 7-6. The Red Tornadoes driving. It's Feliciano again. He is inside the 20 now. And those Red Tornado, that offensive line, Dan, is blowing holes open up the middle.
Yeah, they are. You are absolutely right. As they normally do. It's like it's got to be a running back's paradise.
Yeah, I would imagine. We talked about it last week, too. The Red Tornadoes, this is a season average.
Yeah.
This is all 9 games thus far.
Yep.
The Red Tornadoes average 316 yards on the ground, 6.3 yards a carry.
Wow.
So, yeah, to your point, they've been blowing holes open all year. We don't expect tonight to be any different. And Davitt showing off some vision there, too, to get to that second level inside the 15 to the 14.
Yeah, because sometimes, even though there's always a hole there to be found, sometimes it's easier to find than others. Sometimes we can see it from up here. There's a hole you can drive a truck through, but that's the good thing with these backs. It's a back's paradise having a line this good, but having that extra vision just makes this offense that much more dangerous.
Feliciano again. That time, the Indians will do a good job stopping it again. Artis Jones, first one on scene.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job in there. At that inside linebacker spot, he really gets after it.
We'll see if the Red Tornadoes run another play. Here. Doesn't look like they're going to, Dan. So that'll do it. The first quarter's over. 7-6 Indians at the end of the first here, the annual Coal Bucket game. But just one thing, we talked about it before. Again, if you're listening to this, you're at home. Maybe you're at your club, fire company, wherever you might be. You're enjoying the game. You're dry. You're warm. All kinds of things, and there's a reason that happens, right? There's a reason we can do those kinds of things, and that's thanks to the generosity of the Red Tornado community near and far. Tonight, of course, Mr. Forspring and Cunningham.
Yep.
Just great guys, if we're being honest. But don't forget that the sights and sounds of tonight's game are coming to you live, thanks to the generosity of that community. Again, like we talked about it, Forspring, Cunningham, so many others that have helped us throughout the season. And as the Mount Carmel Area School District and its partners continue to do big things, remember that no donation is too small. So be sure to listen throughout the broadcast each week for ways to support our efforts, or call 570-339-1500 for more information on how you can do that.
Yes, Jim. We'll see what the Red Tornadoes decide to do here. I think it was the play before we took it to the quarter there. We saw Davitt come out and Spears go in. And Spears is going to stay in there, and this is the first like third down situation that, as we move the ball down the field here, this one is going to be a big one. So we'll see who gets the rock here. I think this might be a good one to hit that up back Widener, pick up that quick two if they can.
It's Feliciano. He's going to keep it himself, but he's going to get the first down
for sure.
Tough run there. It's going to be down to, looks like the 8 maybe, Dan.
Yeah.
So first and goal from there.
Yeah, so we'll see again. The Red Tornadoes just, you just pointed out to me, good. Looks like something good for the Red Tornadoes here as well. Garrett Verano on the sidelines jogging back and forth. We might be able to see him get back into this game here, hopefully.
He's on a hunt for the helmet.
Yes, he is.
But on the field, it's Farinato, and he does a good job breaking inside. The Indians kind of waiting for him to do so, however, and he'll stop him after a gain of maybe 3 down to the 5.
Yeah, that's a good job there by Farinato getting anything out of that. It looked like if he wasn't able to get the corner, he wasn't going to get anything, and he found a little cutback lane there and made a really nice play.
And Spears is in there. Spears had 4 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown last week. You got Widener in there. Widener had a good week last week. Well, he had the 1 carry, but it was for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So both of those guys are part of the 100-yard on the season club. So we'll see on second and goal. It's going to be Spears. He's going to get slung into the end zone. So touchdown, Red Tornadoes do a great job of answering themselves. It's 12-7 Mount Carmel right now with 10:45 left in the first half. And the Red Tornadoes, Dan, are going to go for 2.
Yep, and not surprised at this point. You want to make this a full 1-score lead. You don't want Shamokin to be able to come down and take the lead with an extra point. So you want to be able to get this 2-point conversion. And we're going to see what we're used to seeing. We're going to see Feliciano instead of Julian Steller, but it's going to be the same deal.
They're going to hand it to Farinato, and Farinato's going to try to get the corner, and he's in. So a huge effort there by Farinato to get in, and it's 14-7 Mount Carmel. They get that extra point back from the first drive.
And again, Big Red continues to surprise me. I'm expecting to see them run pretty much Feliciano as the Wildcat like they usually do with Steller, but they decide to spread things out a little bit, go with like a speed sweep there with Farinato, and he does a really good job of getting to the corner and kind of it looked like once he found the seam there, he got a little bit of help from some guys in purple jerseys. They decided just to throw their hands at him and kind of pushed him into the end zone.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is, so the Red Tornadoes, 2 touchdowns. The Spears one is more so up the middle.
Yep.
Davitt's was designed in the middle, and he kind of kicked it to the outside. The Indians had success going right up the middle, and you just wonder if it's the wet conditions that it's hard to kind of get up to speed to get that corner, put your foot in the ground, and get upfield.
Yeah, and that could be it, Jim. And we're going to see what I talked about it earlier. Henry Hanoski, Shamokin's coach, Super Bowl winning fullback. I think he's the type of guy, at least I know me personally, I never made it as far as Henry did. I might have been able to eventually, but if I was his size, but us fullbacks, we go with what works most of the time. So I'm expecting to see more of the same.
Steller's kick is going to just get into the end zone. It skipped past Artis Jones there and rolled about a yard into the end zone. That was all that separated a touchback and a live ball with the one.
Yeah, yeah. That was, things got a little interesting there for a second, Jim. And now we got to come back down to earth here. And this Red Tornado defense has to really get grounded on this drive. Up the middle, around the outside, pretty much everywhere. They need to be prepared.
Yeah, they got to you need to see a stop here, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see how this time they'll go with the split back in Madden and Frash. And the ball's on the ground. Nye falls right on it, so that'll turn a 4 down, a kind of a set of 4 downs into 3.
And I mean, to be honest with you, the wet conditions definitely have something to do with it. But if I was lined up at center and I had Tank Kelly and Nick Nestico standing in front of me, it looks like Tank Kelly right now, I'd probably be a little nervous with the football.
And this time it's Madden off the left side, and he's still on his feet. He'll get a first down all the way out to the 34-yard line, so big run there off that left side by Madden.
Yeah, Madden does a really good job just getting a low center of gravity and keeping his legs pumping. It seems like if you try, I said it on the first drive, it seems like if you try and tackle him anywhere above his waist, he's just going to run right through it.
He's a big, strong kid.
He is. And I mean, it's, if you can hand that ball to a kid 38 times in a game, I'm sure Coach Hajnowski will have no issue doing that again.
Madden again. He's shifty through there. He ran through a couple arm tackles at the line of scrimmage. He got out near the first down mark. If he's short, it'll be by an inch.
And we'll see here. See Widener checking in here on defense for Kier. So Widener kind of getting thrown all over the place on the defense here. He's going to be on the, looks like they're going to bump Chickatano down to D tackle and put Widener in there at defensive end with Stellar and Davitt still out there at the linebacker spots.
And it was about an inch short, so they'll go to Frash, and he'll pick up more than what's needed into Red Tornado territory down to the 49.
Yeah, it seems like these Indians are getting most of their yards on like a second effort. It seems like there's a little stop up right at the initial spot, and they keep their legs pumping, or somebody doesn't get a hand, nobody grabs a hold of a jersey, and they're able to slip and get a couple extra yards every time.
And things have been moving pretty quickly. I don't think we addressed it yet, Dan, but Verano is back out there defensively for the Red Tornado, so that's good to see.
It's definitely good to see.
It's Madden again. Across the 40. Be very close to another. Looks like he should have that first down.
Yeah, I think so.
Waiting for the official signage.
Yep.
There it is. They'll move the chains.
And that's this is one of those situations, Jim. We talk about the Red Tornado safeties. They do a really good job getting up there and helping out. But right now, they're actually staying at their depth, and when they're the ones making the tackles in the secondary, that's not usually doesn't spell good news for the Big Red.
Frash up the middle. Good effort there by the Red Tornadoes to stop him quickly after a gain of 2.
Yeah, it looked like Nestico in there did a good job kind of just taking on his blocker, and had Frash ran into the back of his blocker and went right over the top. Couldn't really pick up much there, but this is what the Big Red needs to do. I mean, the linebackers need to fill. Defensive line needs to hold strong, because this is going to be an up-front battle all game.
Oh, on the ground again. Another center quarterback exchange problem, but give Nye credit. So what? He's 3 for 4 now and jumping back on those.
Yes, he is. And Jim, there's not many times where I would say that the shotgun is a safer bet than being under center.
Yeah.
But games like today, it seems like that's the case.
Yeah.
Especially for the Big Red, they're so used to being in shotgun that it's almost like a normal center quarterback handoff.
Madden, and this time the Red Tornadoes will stop him up, but even still, he falls forward. Now we're going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and we'll see. And Jim, just another thing of note here, I wanted to touch on it. Xavier Diaz back in at corner. Feliciano back in at safety. Gary Verano back on the sideline being tended to. So hopefully, again, we can see him back out there soon.
So big play here. We talked about it. The Red Tornadoes need to get a stop. The Indian rush attack has been good, but let's see what they do on 4th and 8.
And the Big Red defense is aware of how big this play is here.
So they're going to stay in that I formation. They're going to bring Wary in motion, so they've got 2 to the left. And it's overthrown. Good pressure by the Red Tornadoes. Coverage all over the place. And it's first down, Mount Carmel. They got the stop they desperately needed, Dan.
Yeah, and that's huge now. And this is where, you know, this is time for the Big Red to a little gut check moment. Like, okay, if we go down here and we take a 2-score lead, that changes the entire look of this game. But if we can't get points on this drive, if they come back and get a stop to match us, then that's a problem.
Well, the big thing here, and you see number 10 Diaz in the backfield. Now, he's been lightning in a bottle every time he touches the football.
Yeah, he's averaging 17.5 yards a carry, I believe, Jim.
Well, let's see how this one goes. Ooh, and he's going to put his head down, Dan. He says, we'll get a little more than just the speedster out of me tonight.
Yeah, and that's going to be the other level for Diaz. We know he has the speed, and he's electric when he's out there. If he's able to be tough and, you know, put a shoulder down and deliver a blow at the end of a run, that's going to be something that, you know, gets him more and more and more opportunities going forward.
This time is the one to the up man. That's Widener. Widener will have a first down. He's into Indian territory at the 49. 1st and 10, Mount Carmel.
Yeah, again, this Red Tornado is doing a really good job just kind of eating up yards. Every play, they're just eating up yards. And they're going to have to continue to do that, because I think if this game's going to come down to who can get the most stops. It's not going to be a battle of defenses. It's going to be which defense can hold up the longest.
At the halfway mark here in the second quarter, the Red Tornadoes up 14-7. And it's Diaz again, inside, outside, inside, outside. He's shifty. Just an arm tackle away from breaking that one, Dan.
But that's the thing with Diaz. I mean, you know, we talked, maybe not averaging 17 yards a carry here today. I think he's averaging probably 8, because he's probably looking at 16 or 17 yards here on his 2 carries. But he's not only a speed guy, but he also has vision too. He did a really good job finding the hole, hitting it at full speed, and then making some moves there in the defensive backfield.
This time it'll be Feliciano. See if he got the first down. Looks like he should, based on where they spotted the ball.
Yeah, Frash did a good job there coming up defensively to fill. But yeah, you're right. It's gonna be a first down.
They'll move the chains here. So again, the Red Tornadoes doing a nice job of kind of driving, and we talked about it earlier, Dan. I think the big thing to take away is on that 4th down. On the 4th down that they got the stop on,
yep.
That's kind of what happens. The Indians have been giving up first down a lot on that drive with the fumbled exchanges.
You're right.
Now Feliciano, the pitch to Diaz. And Diaz, there's a big flag thrown there.
Yeah, so we're going to see. It looks like they're going to throw it in the area of holding or a block in the back possibly.
Yep. So Diaz did a nice job making something out of that one, but there is going to be a flag against the Red Tornadoes. It'll just be a matter of exactly which one it is.
Yeah. I think either way it's going to be a 10-yarder.
You know, he's giving the official. We have the official has his back to us this week. We're on the away bleachers, but that looked like a hold if I could tell from behind. So that'll take the ball back to the 50, and it's going to bring up, let's see, about 1st and 20. It'll be like a true 1st and 20, I think.
Yeah. I think you're pretty accurate. Maybe 1st and 21. It might have been a yard in the backfield, but it's going to be pretty close.
Scoreboard seems to agree with you, Dan.
Yeah.
1st and 21.
At least somebody does.
They'll fake the pitch to Diaz this time, and Feliciano keeping himself. He's going to get hit by number 58, Eric Zaller, first. He'll pick up 5. 2nd and 16.
Yeah, Zaller's a big boy. He came in there and looked like he swallowed up Feliciano as he hit the hole there.
Well, he's part of that offensive line that's been blowing holes open too.
Yeah, they have, most definitely. And that's the thing. This you know, we talk about it, these skill guys, how good they are, but this is really just a battle up front. We see another big guy checking out there, Hunter Wirtz, It's hard to miss him. He's sitting at 6'4".
This time they'll pitch it to Diaz. And there's a lot of effort there, but a lot of purple jerseys too. He'll get down to the 40, so it's going to wind up being about a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11.
Yeah, this is again, big play here. That now, Red Tornadoes are a little too close to punt, too far to try and kick a field goal. If you want to get a first down on this play, but you have to be thinking, what's my 4th down going to be?
Yeah.
If you're Coach Darragh.
Yep. And so to your point, you wonder if you know that it's 4-down territory,
play
you're
for
running
2
it.
downs. Yeah, play for two downs. I think so.
And that's what they're going to do with Diaz. Now he's got some space out there. He makes a good move to get to the outside. The ball's out, but it'll go out of bounds. So again, the Indian defender came with the big sweep.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have the first down though too, which is
what I'm trying
huge.
to see where they're going to place the ball after the fumble.
Yeah, looks like about the 28.
Yep. So all good there. 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. So that all that conversation about it being 4-down territory and have 2 plays to get 10 yards didn't matter.
But we were kind of right. They ran it. If he would have been a couple yards short, they would have been in good position to go for it with another possible run on 4th down. But now we'll see probably a run here on 1st down, unless they decide to take a shot.
It's going to be Feliciano. Feliciano, the Red Tornadoes won't take a shot, but he'll give a shot there as he finishes that run. And now there's flags late. 2 flags
Very late. So we're going to have to see what this is.
The Red Tornadoes are
They seem to think it's against
excitedly
the Indians.
right, pointing in the Indian direction.
Yeah. Well, got to wait for an official signal because sometimes
Let's see here.
Yeah, because sometimes when there's this much discussion, maybe the other officials saw something that the one that threw the flag didn't, and they're gonna.
This is quite a conference, so let's see. I think we're gonna find out now.
We're gonna have to again see behind. Of course, the refs behind Matt Kelly.
So it's a personal foul against the Indians.
Yep.
And that'll be the only one he calls.
Yeah, and that'll be a half the distance. Oh. And they just threw another flag.
Yep.
And
So
now Coach Hajnowski not happy about what's going on here.
A lot of upset. I think, again, this just goes to show we talk about it from a community standpoint, from everything. That's how much this game means to everybody. Coach Hajnowski talked about it all week, what a win would mean tonight.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Not just for his squad, but for the whole community here in Shamokin.
Yeah, we're not. I'm just not sure if there's a lot of chirping going on or what it is exactly. But there's another personal foul against the Indians, like we said. So that's going to be a half the distance from the 28, I believe, after Feliciano's run there, which got us down to probably around the 20. So half the distance put us at the 10, and then half the distance again put us at the 5.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
That's what I'm assuming will be.
I saw them. I mean, I didn't see any call, though, after the second flag. I didn't see an official.
Oh, he did give it to him.
There it is. There's the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yes. So there were 2 personal fouls, and then an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, Jim. That's a lot. Now the Red Tornadoes at the 2-yard line.
Feliciano, and he's in. That's about the easiest one he's going to have all season, untouched.
Yeah.
And it's 20-7 Red Tornadoes with 2:45 left in the first half after a very interesting turn of events there inside the 20.
Yeah, and instead of seeing Stellar head out there with the block, you see, Davitt start to head out there and then get called back in there, and they're going to leave Diaz. They're going to go with team on the field, but this is going to be another 2-point conversion unless they decide to have Feliciano do a little Doug Flutie drop kick here.
So we'll see what they opt to go with, if this is another kind of a sprint sweep or if they keep it. Feliciano. Artis Jones had a chance to get him, but he didn't do it. So it's 22-7 Red Tornadoes. And there was a little extracurricular activity going on there, and it looks like the white hat official was having a conversation. He opted not to throw the flag that time, but there was a conversation. So something to just keep an eye on as the officials try to keep control over what's always an emotional game.
Absolutely, and that's the whole thing with this. You pretty much, I think I spoke about it a few years ago, Jim. This is, growing up, if you live in the Shamokin area or the Mount Carmel area, and you decide that you're going to play some football growing up, this is what you this is your Super Bowl. You know, in the regular season at least, because you're in different classifications, you're not going to see each other in the playoffs. So this regular season finale, right around Halloween, you know, you got mischief night. It's a huge week leading up to the game, and then you come out here and you play your butt off to try and make something happen for this, you know, in this huge game.
And you just talk about it. I mean, these teams, and everything I'm going to read off really quickly is courtesy of our friend Jose Gonzalo. You know, this is the 114th time these teams are playing each other, Dan.
Wow.
It's since 1893, and the Coal Bucket game itself started in 1951. So this is, to your point, like, this is something you can set your watch by it, that this is going to happen. And Stellar's kick is going to go to Artis Jones. He'll take it at the 4. He's going to go across the field, cut back through the middle. A good job there by, let's see, is that Bailey? Yeah, by Al Bailey, who makes the tackle there. Again, it's a good return by Artis Jones, but Bailey stopped it from being any more than it was.
Yeah, and that's a really good. Actually, Jim, I want to make sure we give credit where credit's due there. You're right, that was Al Bailey. My bad. I saw Ben Miller running off right next to him, the 28 and 29. I couldn't see who it was.
Well, they were a pair last week.
Yes, they were.
On the defensive side of the ball.
They definitely were.
2:36 left. The Indians certainly want to answer. The ball's on the ground, and the Red Tornadoes are going to recover again. The Red Tornadoes have the ball yet again. Another Indian fumble, and with 2:29 left in the first half, the Red Tornadoes have the ball at the 32-yard line and a chance to score again before intermission.
Yeah, and this is just devastating for the Indians. You know, and you can kind of see a little bit of the offense just kind of heading off the Indians' offense heading off the field, and they just look dejected, Jim. They really look like this is hurting.
We'll see how the Red Tornadoes opt to try to capitalize here. And it's going to be Davitt. And Davitt will get across the 25. We'll see if he's where he is with the first down.
Pretty close to it if they don't give it to him.
Got a tough angle here for down at this side of the field.
Yeah, I think it would be about 2 yards short.
But again, another big hole blown open by the Red Tornado offensive line.
Yeah, and I, give them the credit too. They're the ones getting on these fumbles. Defensively, they're the ones probably forcing the fumbles too. They're making it tough on the snaps.
This one's Farinata. He'll have the first down inside the 20. Clock will stop at 1:47 left.
Now, Jim, the big thing for the Red Tornadoes here will be to the huge thing is ball security, especially on this drive. Because even if you don't put another score on the board before halftime, you do not want to give the Indians the ball back. So really need to hang on to that ball and keep that momentum.
It's Davitt again. He's going to take a shot. Looks like that's going to be a hold against the Red Tornadoes.
Yep.
So now you've got some, so Dan, I understand your point before, but now you've got some decisions to make because while you don't want to give the ball back, you certainly don't want to squander an opportunity here late in the first half.
I agree. I mean, you definitely have to, you want to score, obviously. You always want to score. But you don't want to give the Indians the ball back. You don't want to give them a chance to take any of the momentum. Was this flag waved off?
I think that's what we had, Dan. I think we waved the flag. And hold on, let me talk about Nestico for a second. So they waved the flag off. The Indians got upset. They got a personal foul called against them. And Nestico's first motion, and that's what there's another one. And that's a leader for you there, Nestico. He grabbed all his guys and said, get back to the sideline.
Yeah, let's get on the sideline.
No chirping.
Yep, and there's another flag. on this one. And there's people getting ejected now. Coaches being ejected from the game. And another flag. Let's see how many we can get out here. Pretty soon the field's going to be covered in yellow.
Well, and here's something to think about. And this is I'd be curious to hear Jose's thoughts on this one, Dan. So
yeah.
One thing we didn't get into
Right.
because we started quick and it was so exciting is next week is district playoffs.
Yes.
Now, as of right now, the Indians are in. Right? The Indians are in district playoffs.
Sure. Yep.
So they're looking at if everything stayed the same, they would likely be at Selinsgrove.
Yeah.
And not next week. It would be 2 weeks because there's only 4 teams from 4A
correct,
that are going, so they get a week off. But
yeah.
when you see these penalties, and as they keep coming, were any of these to result in ejections? I'm not totally sure on how that would play going into district playoffs.
And that's the thing, because you get an ejection. Is it a full game suspension?
That's the part I'm not as clear on.
Yeah, and you're right. We would have to talk to Jose about that. But I think you get ejected in the second quarter. I think you can't come into play until the second quarter of the following game. I think you're ejected for an entire 4 quarters, and I think that might be how it works.
Now I'm trying to look on the sideline here to see if I can figure anything out. But I think fortunately perhaps for the Indians, the penalties after a certain point were called, I think, on the sideline.
Yeah. I agree.
On the coaches kind of sticking up for their guys.
And that's really what it is. And I mean, as bad as it is to see sometimes, all those flags flying back and forth, and people getting emotional, it's not like whether you're playing in the game, you're coaching in the game, or you're just here as a fan, it's hard to not get caught up in the atmosphere, the emotion that goes into this game for everybody.
Heck, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, and it's always like this for me. Every time we play Shamokin, North Schuylkill, Southern, those big games for Mount Carmel, I always get my feelings a little bit.
Now I'm just waiting to see, like, all those flags were thrown. I don't have the slightest idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're going to walk off 4. Have to because I believe I saw 4 or 5 flags thrown. They might just throw the ball down at the 1. Wow. Okay.
All right. So the good news is.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm not sure how they decided to walk that off.
No, we'll have to see. We'll have to check the paper tomorrow. Maybe Harry Raker got something for us. We know Larry Deklinski likely has some good photos.
For sure.
Of everything going on. So we'll have to see exactly how this all gets mapped. But I think there's still some discussion with the officials.
Yeah. Did they pick up all those flags? Are there any still laying around out there? There was a ton. Looked like banana peels laying all over the place. Seemed like they were playing Mario Kart out there.
I think so. Now it looks like, after all the discussion, it looks like Coach Dara might finally get some explanation.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to move the ball back. Just a couple. And now are they going to reset it? Oh, they're going to move it. Now they're going to step it. I think, Dan, this might be what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Where that was the other.
The other penalties here.
Yeah, being stepped off.
Yeah.
But let's see. I'm trying to watch the official in white hat here to see if he's going to give any signals anywhere. But nope, looks like they're just going to set the ball to play.
I think he's just going to run the clock here. And yep, that's it. Wind the clock and let's play ball.
So when it's all said and done, it's 1st and goal at the 2 for the Red Tornadoes.
And the Red Tornadoes going to let this clock wind a little bit. I like the idea here.
Well, this is an interesting setup. Look where David's at. David's at like the 10. Feliciano's at the 8.
Got an Indian timeout.
All right. Okay.
So this is a big, good decision, I think by the Indians here, because with the Red Tornadoes at the spot they are with the ball, it's very likely they run one play and they score. So you take a timeout with a minute left. They have to come out and run a play to start the clock. They may score, and then you're going to have at least a minute with 2 timeouts left to try and drive the length of the field, or have a big play happen and put points on the board before halftime, which would really kind of stall the Big Reds' momentum.
The other thing to think about is it's 48 degrees right now and raining.
Yeah.
All this stoppage where people were just standing around. I mean, the players are going to tighten up.
Yeah, true.
It's not fun for the fans either, let's be honest.
Definitely
But
not.
again, if you're at home watching this, wherever you are, big thank you to Mr. Cunningham and Forspring for their donation to make sure this can happen tonight.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Jim. We talked about how it's not great weather out there today, but the Big Red out there having a great time. You see Feliciano and Farinato out there kind of bobbing their head a little bit to the band playing. These guys are having a really good time out there, and they're enjoying the atmosphere here.
So 105 is where the clock was stopped at. And it's Davitt, and he's in. And the Red Tornadoes are up 28-7 with 1:01 left in the first half. Davitt from about 3 yards out.
Yeah, and that's another good play, and pretty much exactly what I expected to happen there, Jim. Now the Indians are going to get the ball kicked to them with 1:01 left on the clock. 2 timeouts, a chance to possibly answer. But if they're not able to answer, this is huge for the Big Red going into halftime with this kind of a lead.
It's Feliciano this time, and he's right up the middle, 30-7, Red Tornadoes.
And Jim, the misdirection in the backfield seems like it's really, really getting to the Indians' defense, and they're a little frustration brewing, it seems like, but they're doing a good job of kind of just trying to keep it together.
So another thing here, Dan, that I think is kind of interesting, just something to keep an eye on as we go forward.
Yeah.
So we talked about it before. In a game against Danville last week, where Shamokin ultimately ended up losing by double digits.
Yes.
Max Madden ran the ball 38 times.
Yep.
On the season, to the best of my abilities, to what I could pull out of the news item this morning, because we had a little trouble getting our hands on some stats and different things.
Right.
Nye has thrown the ball 94 times this season.
Yeah.
Right, which is 10 times a game roughly.
Right. Yeah.
This isn't necessarily an offense built to come back from multiple scores.
Correct. Correct.
Talented as Madden may be, and can he score from anywhere? Certainly. But it's not, it's not like a loyal sock where we saw Guy that could kind of throw the ball all over the field and bring his team back in a hurry. So just something to see here.
So, and that's the thing. I mean, going into halftime here, this is where the Indians are going to have to look at their defense and say, listen, you guys are going to have to get us some stops if we want a chance to come back from this.
And Stellar just tries the onside kick. The ball is out, and the Red Tornadoes are on it. I'm waiting to see a signal. None of the officials were close, but they're going to say Red Tornado ball. So Stellar goes for the onside kick. Now, wait, another official saying he was down.
Yep.
And
official saying down by contact.
And to be fair, on that one, I think I might have had a better view than some of the officials, and he did look to be down. Yeah,
it looked like the ball popped out kind of late there. It would have been nice, obviously, for the Big Red to be able to get on that one and just even kneel on the ball before going into halftime, But now the Indians got a chance to score here.
But again, not sure if the onside kick was designed or not. I can't imagine that it was. Just maybe a mishit, because you give the Indians some pretty good field position here, like you said, with 55 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean everybody's having an issue with the ball right now. The ball is wet. It's tough for kickers, just as tough it is for a quarterback to try and throw the ball.
Referee's trying to get the ball in play. Again, going to do his best to dry it off. But unfortunately, he's only going to be able to do so much.
Right. Yeah. Let's try and get another one here. Yep. So that's what it looks like. They're going to sub this one out.
Yeah. Again,
Matt Kelly took the ball there from the referee for a second.
Where he's going to run half a mile before the play starts, trying to swap those balls in and out.
Right. Well, yeah, doesn't want to throw that one in because he doesn't want it to get wet and hitting the ground.
Yep. So Nye to Madden, and he's upended. Red Tornadoes do a good job there, and that's the biggest difference, Dan, is they've had success when they can stop him at the initial point of contact.
Yeah, and there was a host of tornadoes there, but it looked like Shikatano, Widener, Stellar, Davitt, all in there coming from that 5-hole, it looked like there.
Now, the Indians have 2 timeouts here, Dan, but they opted not to call one, so we're at 30 seconds left.
I think it would have been if they would have got more of a gain there on that first down play, they probably would have used it.
Madden again, and he's going to be down in the backfield this time. Tank Kelly try to
Swallowed him
see,
up.
and Widener in there too. Great play by those guys.
Yeah, Widener on that DN spot. It looks like the Indians content to take this to half.
Yeah, so what an exciting first half, and certainly a Hello, welcome back to Kemp Memorial Stadium, where we are enjoying the 70th edition of the Coal Bucket game. The Red Tornadoes, visiting tonight, are on top of the Indians 30-7 after the first half, after an exciting first half, a wet first half, a cold first half, but certainly an exciting one. Lots going on here, Dan. We'll just do a quick recap.
Yeah.
So the Red Tornadoes got the scoring started pretty quickly. The Indians took the ball first, had trouble with the quarterback-center exchange. The Red Tornadoes pounced, and Davitt scored from 20 yards out on the first play. To the Indians' credit, they answered pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did.
Well, I should say they answered on the ensuing drive, albeit a long one, 6+ minutes. Max Madden from a yard out. They kicked the extra point to go up 7-6. But the Red Tornadoes have put up 24 unanswered since that point. A 5-yard touchdown run from Spears, a 2-yard run from Feliciano, and a 3-yard run from Davitt. So that's how we got to 30. So, Dan, you talked a lot at the beginning of the game about one thing, ball security. And you couldn't have been more right.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, essentially that's the difference in this game. I mean, the Red Tornadoes have played for what's going on, like for the weather, the Red Tornadoes have played an extremely clean first half. And they need to continue to do that in the second half. And the Indians really need to clean things up. There's been a lot of issues with the quarterback-center exchange. The last fumble there, the Indians fumbled on a pitch. Pitch from Nida Madden. And it's been one side has been, has played a much cleaner game, and that's the 23-point difference.
Yeah, so we'll see kind of what happens here, how the second half transpires. Again, while the Red Tornadoes currently hold a 3-score, 23-point lead, they're also going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and this drive here for the Indians is a must-get-a-stop drive. If the Red Tornadoes score on this drive and are able to go up 37, possibly 38, or even if it's 36, you know what I mean? You're down 4 scores in at that point.
Yep.
That is a lot to come back from in a rainy game where it's going to be tough to throw the ball.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to point out before we get started here, we had the opportunity to kind of step out of the booth here at halftime, and we talked about it at the outset about the rain, how it's affecting everybody, not just the young men on the field. But the band, Mount Carmel band, just terrific as always.
Always.
Just rain or shine, doesn't matter, doing a great job from their seats.
Yep.
Really kind of brings the vibe up for everybody who can hear it.
For sure, yeah. And you mentioned it earlier, too. The cheerleaders out here doing everything. And, we always come to see the guys on the field, and that's what most people are tuning in for. But you can't ever forget about the cheerleaders in the band that are always here, no matter what, rain or shine, to support everybody else.
And so to get started, the Red Tornadoes are in an onside kick recovery formation. They got the hands team out there.
Yeah.
Certainly expecting a little razzle-dazzle from the Indians to start.
Yeah, a little gamesmanship here, but now, and I like to see the corner guys here in the second line dropping back a little bit to give Spears a little bit of assistance.
Ossowski's kick is going to get to Spears. He does a good job picking it up on a hop at the 15. He'll make the first 2 tacklers miss before being finished off by number 30 for the Indians. Looks like Corey Adams. It'll be 1st and 10 Mount Carmel. Let's see where the forward progress was, Dan. What about the 24-yard line?
Yeah, so we'll see. Big Red here coming out, and again, we really need to get a good start here. Yeah, I think forward progress.
My goodness,
was at the 28 actually.
I was looking at where the referee was holding the ball, but the one who had the mark was at the 28. Good catch, Dan.
Yeah, they spun him back there a few yards, but we're gonna see this. We got Stellar in the backfield here.
Going to give him the ball, and he's going to run hard as he does. Get across the 35.
And Jim, I'm sure he's been chomping at the bit in the coach's ear the entire first half. There didn't get any carries. Still dealing with that arm injury. We see he's got that big wrap on there, and but he didn't play any offense or defense last week. We saw him out here on defense in the first half, but now he's getting his chance to carry the ball. So he's definitely excited.
2nd and 4. And it'll be Stellar again. And Stellar's in the open field. And this is what the Red Tornadoes missed when he's injured. He's going to try to make it work. Stellar is going to be all the way in from 66 yards. A huge run by Julian Steller. Welcome back to the offense, young man.
Yeah, and I could see that coming there, Jim. You're not going to hold that kid down for long, and with the injury last week, not being able to play at all except for kicking last week, you knew that when you saw him go out there on the offense, that something big was going to happen.
And if I remember correctly, Dan, from the game notes that Jose provided us this week, that puts him over 100 points scored on the season.
Wow.
I think he was coming in with 99 points scored this season.
That is impressive. And you know, you don't have to worry about injuring your arm if you don't get tackled.
This time it's Davitt, and Davitt got stopped there. So to your point, Dan, your initial prediction, so to speak, came true. It'll stay 36-7 Red Tornadoes. My goodness, what an exciting start to the half.
Yeah, definitely exciting and very, very precarious now. I was trying to find the right word, but
yeah,
the Indians are now in a precarious position because you're at the point, there's still essentially 2 whole quarters left, but you are down a pretty sizable amount of points right now. So you start to get forced to do some things. That long drive that you put together to get your first touchdown on the board, you can't have 4 of those to come back from this kind of a deficit. You need to you're kind of get put in a spot where we're going to have to throw the ball. We're going to have to break a big run. Something has got to give here.
So one thing we'll talk about here, the Red Tornadoes on the sideline have their coats on. Yeah. Which, again, cold, rainy, understandable. What that complicates a little bit is finding out where everybody's at all the time. Yeah. And the one guy I'm looking for right now is Verano. He wasn't out there offensively. Farinado was in the slot position. And I'm having a hard time finding Verano now, so I'm curious. I don't know if we'll see him again tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Jim.
And Steller's going to try the onside kick.
He almost got there.
Yeah, that's that one where he likes to run right aside of it.
Yeah.
And try to grab it right when it hits 10 yards, but a good job by the Indians recovering.
Yeah, it was number 14, Hockenbrock. It looked like he tried to take it right out of Hockenbrock's hand there. It looked like they both got to the ball around the same time. He almost did get it, but the downside of that, now the Indians starting in pretty solid field position here.
And you see here again the Red Tornadoes, the way they'll address Verano's absence is Feliciano slide back to corner, and Diaz will stay in at the corner position. Excuse me, Feliciano slide back to safety. And that's wary, and the Red Tornadoes are going to stop him right away.
Yeah, that's Tank Kelly there, right on that one, ready to go. And that looked like more of a traditional, looked like Coach Hynoski going back to his roots, that Jim Roth offense, a little wing T there.
Be 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line. Nye under center. You're right, Dan. It does look like a wing T.
Yeah.
They bring Frash in motion, and they're going to hand it to Madden. And the Red Tornadoes just figured something out somewhere in that second quarter, Dan.
And that's the thing there. It looked like Davitt coming up to fill there, and I think you're right. It just seems like they're doing a good job of really just kind of knowing what's going on now. Like they were prepared up the middle. Madden had to bounce it outside. Everybody was in the right spot. Forced it, even though he bounced it outside, was able to get a yard or two. He wasn't able to get much more than that. Seems like just the defensively, everybody's doing their assignment.
Yeah. Yep, so it's 3rd and 8. And the Nye's going to throw it. He's got Madden out of the backfield, and it's incomplete. Just missed him. It's a hard pass to make there. So now, again, you've got a decision here if you're Coach Hynoski. It's a weird situation to be down 4 scores. You've got 4th and long.
Yeah, and they're going to punt. I saw Nye go to the sideline. Number 14, Hockenbrock, is their punter, and he is out there. So I think this may be they run a little bit of an interesting punt formation here, but this actually looks more traditional than the one I've seen on film. So maybe doing things a little different.
Red Tornadoes came after it. It's in the direction of Spears. He'll take it at the 15. He's got the sideline. He's going to come back to the middle. Good job covering the punt there. And now we'll get another flag against the Indians. A little extracurricular activity against Farinado.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But what was interesting on that one, Dan, I think, is you saw Max Madden kind of reacted to his teammate.
Yeah.
And again, you talk about it's a senior kid. He's been around a lot. That's, again, just kind of more example of leadership you see on the field.
Yeah, and you know, I remember when we were getting ready for this game kind of early on in the week, I mentioned Max Madden's name, and I was just thinking to myself, like, man, this kid's been around for a while. It seems like and I mean, this is our 4th year doing this here, so we've seen him come up from a freshman, you know, in these cold bucket games, and it's he's going to be a big loss for the Indians when he's gone, because that kid is, like you said, he's a heck of a ball player, and he's a really good leader out there on the field.
So when they walk off the 15 yards, which there have been a couple personal foul penalties called, this might be the first one where they actually walked off all 15 yards.
Right.
The ball will be at the 44, and Feliciano's going to hand it to Farinado. Nice tackle made by Ford. That's Frash.
Yeah, that's a really nice play there by Frash. Did a good job coming up from looked like a linebacker spot there and filling his gap there. And that's, you know, I talked about it. The Red Tornadoes doing that on their side of the ball defensively, just doing their job and getting to their assignments. That's what the Indians are going to have to do defensively to try to slow down this Red Tornado offense that they haven't been able to slow down yet.
2nd and 9. Stellar in motion. Feliciano will keep it himself. He bounces outside. He's going to be flung forward for a first down.
Yep.
I'll move the chains again. It'll be right at the 45, it looks like.
Yeah, and that's going to be a first down for sure. And, you know, again, Red Tornadoes just kind of doing what they want offensively. And it's tough. That's really, really tough for a defense. You're out there. You're doing everything you can. You're working hard, trying to get a stop, doing everything you can. And the Red Tornadoes just, when they decide they want a big play, they get a big play.
This time it's Stellar. My goodness. Looked like he activated the truck stick there, Dan. He just there was like a little skip and a hop, and he put his head down and ran through some defenders.
Yeah, and I think he decided there that, you know, last time I broke it to the outside and beat everybody to the end zone. He said this time he wants to look for some contact there. He said maybe we'll let somebody else get the 6, or maybe I'll just get it on another play.
Red Tornadoes getting the play from the sideline as they do.
In no rush either.
No.
You know, you see at this point in the game, it's early to kind of be working the clock, but with the lead they have, no reason to be in a rush.
Stellar again. This time right up the middle. Head down, shoulder down, first down.
Yep. And he, again, you know, just working real hard. And you see it appears like the other Red Tornado seniors out there especially, but the whole offense kind of feeding off that.
Yeah.
You know, normally the backs feed off the offensive line. It seems like the offensive line's kind of feeding off Stellar, you know, finishing his runs, putting his head down and delivering contact at the end.
Ball sits at the 30. Stellar in motion. Feliciano keeping himself. And now he's in the open field, and now he's in a foot race to the corner. And he's in for a Red Tornado touchdown from 30 yards out. And it's 42-7 Mount Carmel.
Yeah, and this has been like just this is not what I expected, Jim. Yeah, you know, coming into this game, I thought that the elements were going to kind of throw a wrench into things, and
yeah,
Verano going out there, who, you know, we were looking for him on the sideline, going out there going to hold here for Stellar, but at this point in the game, with the score where it's at, don't expect to see him back out there defensively or offensively, just to make sure he's, you know, 100% before he goes back.
Kick is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So good kick there by Stellar. And that'll be what, Dan, 115?
Yes, I believe so. I'm pretty sure he came into this week 114, so that'll be 115. and that'll be a big Red Tornado lead.
So 7:05 left in the third quarter. The Red Tornadoes had a 30-7 lead at the half, and all they've done in the second half is score, force a punt, and score again to stretch it to 43-7.
Yeah. So again, this is a this has been an impressive showing from this Red Tornado offense yet again, and I mean they've capitalized on some short fields, some costly Indian penalties, but they've played just and I can't talk about it enough. They've played such a clean game.
Yeah.
Offensively,
Yep.
they haven't turned the ball over, anything like that. And I mean they're hoping to do that moving forward, because that's something that if you start getting sloppy with the ball, you start turning the ball over, that big deficit can disappear real quick.
Yeah. So we'll see if Stellar opts to send this one deep or not this time. And he does. And that one's going to get over Artice Jones's head into the end zone. And now there's a lot going on here. That one may be against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they call this or how they call it here.
So we'll see. One thing while the officials sort this out that I couldn't help but notice, Dan, is Stellar had the long run.
Yeah.
Feliciano had a 30-yard run.
Yep.
Those two guys, they're neck and neck to lead this team in rushing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny to see one or the other.
It is. It's like they're battling for the top spot. Oh, these are going to offset here.
Yep.
So that's about right there, Jim.
Yeah,
that one there.
That one kind of happened right in front of us, and I think I can vouch for the validity of that being an offsetting one.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the right call. And we'll see Nye coming into the huddle here to get Shamokin their play.
So yeah, that got a little tricky there, because the extracurricular activities, we like to call it, was around the 45-yard line. But because of the touchback, the ball's actually placed all the way back to the 20.
Correct.
But now we're going to have some conversation here, because there's...
Yeah, not sure what the just some clarification, it looks like, from the refs.
Yep. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 29 under center. Madden is the deep back, and it looks like, is that Adams, 30 in front of him? Adams has to leave his feet, or excuse me, Madden has to leave his feet there. But he won't get much more than, looks like maybe 3 out of the 23.
Okay. Good job there defensively. A big red. Not letting them get too many there. And we'll see again. You know, like you said, it's starting to get a little out of penalties and stuff like that. The game's starting to get away from itself here. They want to recenter and just play their game.
And Madden's pass to Waria fall incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd and 7 now from the 23-yard line. And that is Adams in there. He's been running the fullback position the first 2 plays of this drive.
Yeah, that's something different to see, because I think we saw Frash in there throughout most of the first half. Going to have to keep an eye on that. I know we saw Frash on a defensive drive here in the second half, but we'll have to keep an eye out, make sure there's no injury or anything of that sort.
Madden's going to throw, Nye's going to throw again. These guys to run, and the Red Tornadoes are too close. They're too fast. Tank Kelly is going to finish that one off. Looks like there was other Red Tornadoes on site.
Yeah, that was very well defended in the defensive backfield as well. Looked like Spears out there in coverage, along with Diaz on our side of the field here, on the Red Tornado side of the field, and going to force that's a coverage sack right there.
Yeah. Yep, so another punt here for the Indians. Spears and Farinano back deep. Hockenbrock does a good job punting that one directionally away from Farinano, but it'll be out right at the 45. It'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes from their own 45.
And again, the Big Red going to benefit from some solid field position to start here. You know, they've really taken advantage of their opportunities tonight. Now we'll see Feliciano coming to the sideline. So I think we're going to see Spears at quarterback. Is what it looks like to me.
We'll see. It doesn't look like too many other changes here. But again, I know we said this at the outset, but we always talk highly and speak well of that Red Tornado offensive front. Those big guys up front are always blowing holes open, but let's make sure we include Liam Bradley tonight, doing a great job from that tight end position. And we'll get a stoppage here. Offsides against the Indians. So walk off 5 yards will be 1st and 5 with 4:54 left in the third quarter. The Red Tornadoes on top, 43-7. And again, this is WKMC TV broadcast. Tonight's 70th annual Coal Bucket matchup, sponsored by Mr. Cunningham and Forspring again.
Yes. Always good to have those guys getting this sponsorship here for the week, especially the big game, the Coal Bucket game.
And it's Stellar again. He'll get a first down.
Yes, he will, and they're going to keep pounding Stellar up the middle. Actually, now they're gonna sub Stellar out. Stellar's had a stellar second half so far.
I knew you were going there.
I had to do it. I didn't do it all year.
I felt it.
Yeah. So and he gives Diaz, kind of passes it off to him, as he's coming in there to relieve him.
And it'll be Diaz. And he's almost out just by the jersey.
Yeah, it looked like Cedar, the only one, he got a grip on him and was able to kind of sling him down there and hang on tight. But that was a really nice job there by Diaz to pick up another first down.
Yeah, and again, one thing these Indians do that, I don't know if it's something that they teach from the coaching staff on that side or if it's something that the kids kind of show each other, but they hack at that football, man.
Yeah, they
took
do.
a big swing at Diaz again. And this time it's Spears up the middle.
Yeah. And Jim, at that, honestly, this week, we all saw in the forecast early on in the week that they were calling for rain. They were calling for some sloppy conditions on Friday. So maybe that's part of the game plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through the whole week, you're practicing. You're saying, hey, swipe at that ball. It's going to be wet. It's going to be rainy. Swipe at that ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. 2nd and 4, ball at the 28. Again, Farinado and Widener in there at the wing. Diaz to Spears' left, and it's going to be a handoff to Diaz up the middle. He's hit initially by, it looks like, number 60, John Kodak, and he'll be stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Bring up 3rd and, let's see where they mark the ball, Dan.
Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 5, possibly.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, from my angle, that's what it looks like here. But, again, Red Tornado's doing a good job. Just, it's still the third quarter.
Right.
This feels like a different part of the game. You know what I mean? It feels like we're not in the third quarter, but we are. So, Big Red doing a good job of kind of just chewing the clock.
So, trouble with the snap there out of shotgun. Spears does a good job of covering it.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4th down. And now, again, this is a weird one for the Red Tornadoes because you're up by 36 points. You don't really like the optics maybe of going for it on 4th down, but this is a weird place in the field to punt. And you got Stellar. He's got his helmet off, the jacket on.
Well, it looks like he's going to get his helmet here. So he's not sure what the coaching staff's going to do. This is maybe where you tell Spears, hey, take the snap, quick kick it.
Yeah, that's true too. That's an interesting option.
When you're down this close, this is what you do sometimes.
It's 4th and 14. They're going to pitch it to Diaz. And Diaz is going to have the first down and more. There he is. Xavier Diaz is going to score from way out. Now we're going to see there's what I think is going to be a dead ball, a personal foul against the Red Tornadoes there.
No, I'm not sure, Jim. I think that looked like a block in the back.
Okay.
Looks like they're going to call a block in the back, which will bring this play back.
All right, that's fair. I couldn't tell from behind if it was the hand or if he crossed his arms.
Yeah.
But I was...
From the spot of the foul here, it's going to probably bring us back to close to the original line of scrimmage.
So that's the second time now this season that Diaz has had a long touchdown run come back.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate too because that was just a great play there, great vision, was able to get to the corner, and then we saw that blazing speed to beat everybody.
Yep. Yeah, the flag was late. It was really late, which is what made me think it was something after the play. But you're right, based on everything we were able to actually see. The Indians look like they'll get away with a. This Diaz is down the sideline. He's going to dive. And he's in. So just like that, it came back on the right from 35 yards out. The Red Tornadoes ran it again to the left, and it's Diaz again from 35 yards out, and it's 49-7 Mount Carmel.
And that's awesome there, Jim. That I love seeing that. You know what I mean? He loses one there on one side because of the penalty. Let's just give it back to him going the other way. Let him get to the wide side of the field and use that speed to beat everybody. And credit to the offensive line because defensively you have to think, okay, let's watch out for this kid because he just took it to the house, and we got lucky with the penalty. So that's the offensive line setting that one up, getting out there in front of him and clearing the way for him to get that corner. And then the effort at the end to dive for the pylon and get in the end zone.
Stellar on for the extra point. It's a high snap. Brown does a good job getting it down. Kick is low and to the left. So I think the conditions probably play a part there. It looks like Stellar might have slipped a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely not good kicking conditions for sure. But again, just a great job there by Diaz. And that entire Red Tornado offense. You pretty much convert 2 fourth downs on 2 plays.
Yep.
Both of them for touchdowns. You only need 13 yards, 12 yards, but you're going to just take it all the way and score a touchdown.
And so it's 49-7 Mount Carmel. 55 seconds left in the third quarter here at Kemp Memorial Stadium on a cold, rainy Friday night at the end of October.
Yeah.
Again, the 70th annual Coal Bucket game. Certainly, while we've got just under 13 minutes in total to play, given the deficit on the scoreboard, it certainly feels like it may be coming back to Mount Carmel for a 25th consecutive year.
Yeah.
But we'll see here. Stellar will kick off. The Red Tornadoes, after giving up a long touchdown drive to the Indians in the first quarter, Max Madden, have reeled off 43 straight points. Stellar's kick is going to be taken by Frash, it looks like, on a run. Excuse me, that's Cedar. And he's going to be...
That's a great job there by
held
Belichick.
up by Belichick. So great job there, as you called out, Dan, to make sure, again, Belichick doesn't make the tackle by himself, but he makes sure Cedar doesn't get any further.
And that's, Belichick, the only guy around Cedar at that point. The Indians did a really good job of blocking that. Plus, we talked about that kickoff from the Red Tornado hash.
Yeah.
So there's nobody on the other side of the hash on that side of the field. The kick goes that way. Everybody's got to flow that way. Belichick does a good job of holding him up and not letting go, just holding on for dear life.
Indians will hand it off to Madden, and it's just not there right now for the Indians. A great job by that interior defensive line of the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, and I'm wondering honestly, offensively for the Indians, if it's just fatigue at this point.
Yeah.
Because the rain is draining, the game is draining. Plus, if you're playing offense and defense,
yeah,
the Red Tornadoes that offensive line for the Red Tornadoes is just beating guys up up front, and then you got to come back around and play them on the defensive side. And we are seeing a couple different guys in here. We're seeing Kellen Geary and Dalton Moser in there with Michael Keir as well on that defensive line.
And the third quarter will come to a close with Mount Carmel on top 49-7. So again, a heck of a night here at Kemp Memorial for the guys wearing white and red tonight, Dan.
Yeah, and it's been a tale of 2 teams out there pretty much. The Red Tornadoes celebrating, guys dancing on the sidelines. They're having a blast playing here in the rain. And then over there you have the Shamokin sideline and
stadium that are cold and ready to go home. and none of them are standing on the Red Tornado sideline right now.
Yeah, yeah, I
you said,
agree.
they're having about as much fun as you could possibly be having out there.
I agree, and you know, with 12 minutes left, you don't like to. Things aren't always a foregone conclusion, but I think with 12 minutes left, and like you know, I talked about it earlier, the type of offense that the Indians have been running, that they've been having success with in this game, it's just not going to do it. I don't see it in the cards, unfortunately, for the Indians.
And I think some of it, too, comes down to even, you know, give the Indian offense all the credit that it's due, and Nye's going to drop back to throw, and he'll fling it out there. Spears is eyeballing it, and he's going to intercept it. Spears played that ball the whole way. Now he's got a wall of defenders. There's going to be a flag thrown against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Chicatano.
They're going to get the Red Tornadoes on. I don't know what the word is they call it. I think they call it officially a blindside block.
Yeah, an illegal blindside block.
Right.
But and I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, or I'm sorry, a few years ago when they first made this a penalty. When I played, that was just a good, clean block. You know, that was one of those things. So, but again, either way, it comes after the interception.
Right.
So the Red Tornadoes are going to maintain possession of the ball, and we're going to get to see some switches out here. So we're going to have to start calling these out.
Yep. So yeah, we can talk about it, and you know, you can make all the conversations about football and you know how long that kind of block has kind of been acceptable and maybe even encouraged at a higher level of football. But as far as the letter of the law goes, that's certainly a penalty at this point. So the referee saw it and called it. The ball moved back to the 50, so it winds up being about a 10 or 11-yard return net from where Spears intercepted the pass. And we'll try to talk through some of these Red Tornadoes. It looks like they're going to have Matt Belichick, that is, as the quarterback.
Yep. It's like Michael Langton out there. I saw number 70 at the center.
Yep,
72, Seth Smith. Or, I'm sorry, Maddox Lamas.
And it's going to be Belichick who'll keep it himself. He'll get to midfield and not much further.
See Al Bailey out there, probably at a tight end spot.
Yep, Maddox Reed.
Yep.
Braden Brinkash.
Matt Belichick and Chase Belichick as well.
You said 70 Langton.
Yep.
45 Yager Delaney. 72 Lamas, you got him. Number 60, Ken Wetzel's heading in there.
Yeah.
The center position. Much to the excitement of the home crowd.
Yeah.
This time it's going to be Reed, Maddox Reed, that is, off the right side. Nice job there, picking up some yardage.
Yeah, it's a good pickup there after not really any gain there on the first play.
12 Lukoski's in there as well.
Yep. We get
57 Ashton Burchett.
Yep. 54.
Caden Hine.
Yep. I think we might have got everybody now.
I think so. But I expect we'll probably see changes on the defensive side, too, when the possession changes. So
we'll most definitely.
Take another shot there. For now, it's 3rd and 2. It's a low snap. Belichick does a good job pulling it up. He's got the first down.
Yeah, that's, again, you know, that. And the clock is stopped currently. But should be in that time where the clock continues to run. Even while they're waiting to set.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. We'll just see. And now the referees wind the clock after the ball is set. But usually we're, you know, in that mercy rule area where the clock's just going to run continuously.
Let's read again. This time will be taken down. Oh. So they had him high, but he did a good job of lunging forward to get. He'll lose a yard, but probably easily could have lost 3 or 4.
Yeah, he did a really good job of kind of squeaking through there and lunging forward, like you said, to get to where he ended up at there. But it definitely could have been worse. And we'll see now. The Red Tornadoes again. You know, they're even with this offense out there on the field, no rush really to get the play in. They're going to let the play clock wind down. They're going to try and take this one home here as quickly as possible.
And they'll hand it to Lukoski, who's going to get the edge. He's going to try to fight through. He's going to be dragged down by number 58, Eric Zauer. And that was one of the other things I was going to bring up, Dan. No, very few, if any, changes on the Indian side at this point. As we see those, we'll try to call them out as well. But for now, at least, they have most of their ones still in.
Yeah.
And like I said, as they make the changes, we'll call them out.
Yeah, and that was a tough one there for Lukowski as he kind of worked his way outside. Anytime you have to get deep on that, you get a little nervous, and Zauer made a nice play coming up and tackling him.
And just as we said right there, number 7, Isaiah Mumford, he's going to leave the field for the Indians, and 18, Brian Yovel Martinez will come in. And it's 3rd and 13 for Mount Carmel. Blitchick will keep it himself. Not much to do there.
Yeah, right on key there. Yovel Martinez on the tackle on Blitchick.
So it'll be 4th and 12. And again, I think this is another situation likely to see the Red Tornadoes go for it, if only because, as we've seen so often in these scenarios, getting the punt team back out there is a little complicated.
Yeah, it is. It's, you talked about it. Guys have their helmets sitting down in places. They're not really. They're living it up there on the sidelines right now. They just played a heck of a football game, offensively, defensively. They've done a great job, and definitely not going to try and get the punt team out there.
A little trouble with the snap there. Blitchick will fall on it. The Indians will take over 1st and 10 at their own 47 with 7:26 left, and the Red Tornadoes up 49-7 at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see now. Like you said, defensive changes. We'll try it. Maybe we might be able to get them all before he even get out there.
It looked like Boblick out there. Boblick had a big interception last week.
Yes, he did. Number 48, Tate Adams headed out there. 17, Orville Fesniak. 29, Ben Miller. He had a huge game last week at the defensive end spot.
Yep. See, Lamas stays out there.
Yeah, some guys are still out there.
Is that Langton in the middle? Yep.
Yep, Langton. Al Bailey, it looks like. And with Boblick at the linebacker spot.
And now trouble there with the snap for Nye. He'll pick that one up and decide to go forward this time. He'll pick up 9. 2nd and a yard.
Yeah, so we got, trying to see if we miss anybody. There goes big number 61, Jack Robert in there.
I don't think so. I think we got everybody. Like you said, you got, if you're looking at the defensive backfield, you got Adams. We talked about Lukowski, Blitchick, and Fesniak.
Yep.
Miller, Lamas, Robert, and Langton, I think. And they're going to hand it to Artis Jones. Lukowski does a good job stringing him outside. He's going to get the first down, but not much more. Now there's a late flag on the play.
Yeah, we'll see. It's an interesting spot for that.
Yeah,
and they kick it up there closer to the tackle, so we'll see what the call is here.
Yeah, the flag, again, it's against the Red Tornadoes.
Something against the Red Tornadoes.
Couldn't totally tell what it was.
So we'll just have to see how much they walk off here.
But and that's another one that wasn't really thrown by the official in front of the action. That was the white hat in the back kind of threw it a country mile.
Right.
But nevertheless, they're going to walk it off. It looks like they're going to walk off 15. So maybe somebody snagged the face mask by mistake or or something.
Yeah, but usually at this point, you think this is something that the referee, or at least for the coach's sake, they turn around and usually let the coach know what the penalty was, who did it. But we haven't gotten that this game so far, so it's been tough for us to kind of get a read on what the penalty was.
The Indians did make some changes here offensively.
Yes.
So we'll try to get some numbers as we can. That's going to be a handoff to Adams. And he's going to be dropped by Boblick.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, Dan, I thought there were
6
more changes than occurred.
Yeah, got number 16, Aiden McCulak. Checking in there.
And it looks like not sure who that is behind
we got
Adams.
20. It's 26 in the backfield there. We do not have 26 on the roster, so. But he's making a nice run here.
And he's going to have himself a touchdown, so great job there. Now we'll try to hear, and another flag, 2 flags, 3 flags. I'm going to try to listen to the press box to give that young man some credit. It was a nice run. but as we said before, had a lot of difficulty this week tracking down a roster.
Yeah, and Jim, I could slightly hear, it sounded like they said Malachi Peffer, but we have Malachi Peffer as number 27 on the roster. So, but I could swear that's the name that I heard. So that would be probably 15 assessed on the kickoff.
Yeah.
The personal foul there, late hit.
Yeah, I was just trying to listen to the press box too to see if we got anything more, but nope,
Yeah.
that was about it. So we'll go with Peffer, and we'll we can be wrong tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tonight we'll stick with Peffer.
Yeah.
I'd say nice run there, about 20 yards by Malachi Peffer. It's 49-14 Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, and again, you know that Red Tornado offense going to be coming back out here, and we'll keep seeing some different guys out here, and I'm doing the same thing now. I'm trying to hear. Sounds like they're giving the PA announcer is giving kind of the breakdown on how the personal foul is going to be assessed. So he's letting everybody know it's going to be 15 assessed on the kickoff. But
all right, so then they'll kick from where? The Red Tornado 45? Is that how that'll work out?
that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I think he's so far into Red Tornado territory
everybody's
that
confused.
Osowski handles the kicking for the Indians, and he's like, "Wait, I'm supposed to kick the other way."
Same thing with the big red return team.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow, this is where they're going to kick from. So Lukoski and Diaz are going to probably have their heels back on the goal line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that front line, 10 yards, is going to be at the 35 instead of the 50. So 15 yards is big on these kickoffs.
Lukoski's kick is going to hit Osowski's kick is going to hit Lukoski in the chest at the 4. And he does a good job. The ball is on the ground. I do think the Red Tornadoes were able to jump on it, though.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Yep, so it'll be first and
looks
10.
Like Maddox Reed comes up with that ball.
First and 10 at the 20 for the Red Tornadoes. Now, Dan, we'll take an opportunity here. Again, it's been an exciting game. We've had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's a Red Tornado down.
Try to see who exactly.
Yeah, I think that's Xavier Diaz, number 10, which is tough.
Hopefully nothing too significant, because kind of just as I was transitioning, allowing myself, we'll say, to transition to next week.
Yeah.
And think again. So this is the regular season finale for both the Red Tornadoes and the Indians. Mount Carmel right now, and I don't know, Dan. Maybe while we're talking here, we can get Score Stream up.
Yeah, a little bit of Score Stream.
And kind of see what's going on around the area.
I agree.
When we came into tonight, things were slated for the Red Tornadoes to have Bloomsburg. The Red Tornadoes were kind of locked into that 2 seed and should have stayed as thus with a win tonight.
Yeah. And before we get to our playoff things here, just something interesting to take a look at that I just noticed here. North Schuylkill, who up until this week was 9-0, I believe, currently locked in a 6-6 game with Pottsville in the fourth quarter right now.
Oh, wow.
So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Central Columbia is currently leading Bloomsburg 8-6 in the fourth quarter.
So that gets interesting. So
Yes,
now we
it
got to see
does.
what Northwestern's up to.
Yeah, and they might not have them here because I usually only have the area, so I might have to do like a little. Oh, nope, that's from last week. I'm gonna have to do a little search here.
So
we will see.
Yeah, so that's really where we are here. Is Diaz is 10-2 on the field. We're a little bit of scoreboard watching to try and understand what next week might look like. So we've got Northwest and South Williamsport. So we're seeing nothing in the first quarter. My guess is that hasn't been updated, or maybe they got hit with the rain.
But I'm also seeing boys varsity football yesterday at 7. That South Williamsport won that game by a 30-point deficit. So we're going to have to get clarification on that. Maybe I can check the rankings here.
Yeah, one of the other things, as we get Diaz's helped off the field, one of the other things that complicates things a little bit is some teams in District 4, as Belichick hands off to Reed and the Indians do a good job stopping him there, some teams in District 4 won't end up playing 10 games this season because of different cancellations, whether it be COVID or different kinds of things. So it's not even as easy as looking and saying, okay, so-and-so played this many games, so that must have been from last night.
Yeah, and that's the thing that is a really big, like, that's a big, the points are going to come into effect big time this year, more so than others, because it's not just going to come down to clear-cut records.
Now Reed will come off, Tate Adams will go in, and actually Zarski's in there now to Belichick's left. So Zarski's been battling injuries the last 6 or 7 weeks, so he's finally healthy and back tonight, which is great news. And it's low snap for Belichick. He'll do a good job falling on it. It's going to be 3rd down for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, now I'm just checking. I pulled up the District 4 scoreboard for PIAA, and looks like for Thursday, October 28th, South Williamsport did beat Northwest Area 56-26.
Okay.
So maybe they were anticipating the rain and moved the game up a day.
Yeah.
If there was a mutual agreement there. Again, this is the District 4 website, so I'm hoping that is accurate.
Yep, so they went early. They went a day early.
Yeah, some teams are opting to go a day late.
Southern and Danville are going to play tomorrow, I think at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And there's the pitch to Zarski, and he's got the corner, and he's in and he's out, and it's a good run there out to the 25 or so.
Yeah, that's a real nice run there.
Yeah, so on 3rd and 20, Zarski's going to get almost everything, but I think the Red Tornadoes are going to have to punt this one away.
Yeah. Maybe. Don't see any sort of adjustments being made.
No, I mean, I've been wrong before.
I'd be inclined to agree with you there, Jim. I thought that they would have punted it as well. Maybe they're going to punt with the team on the field.
Doesn't look like it, though. So we'll see. Maybe we'll try to get Zarski to the edge again and see if he can just catch the angle. He's a quick kid.
Yeah. Yeah, Diaz was able to get a 4th down conversion last time around.
That's what they're going to do. He's under, although the Indians are ready for it, there were 3 purple jerseys there waiting.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
And they'll stop him. It'll be turnover on downs.
Yeah, so again, it'll be, now we'll see the Red Tornado defense out there trying to get things squared away.
Yep, so again, we talked about it. Southern leads District 4, Class 2A. They're 8-1. They're playing Danville tomorrow. Even with a loss, they hold the head-to-head over the Red Tornadoes. So it's unlikely Mount Carmel would be able to kind of jump them. So that's 1. Mount Carmel's 2. Number 3 is Troy. The Red Tornadoes and Troy were kind of back and forth a little bit this season. Troy they were on the road tonight at 9-0 Canton.
Correct.
So what's going on there, Dan?
Canton is currently leading 36-0 against Troy.
Okay.
So they'll be dealing Troy their 3rd loss of the year, which now not only will give Red Tornado obviously the advantage in points, but also in record. So
while it may not matter a whole lot, maybe it will. You have to start to get curious there, if with points and kind of how District 4 views things. Is a 3-loss Troy team capable, can they get jumped by a 3-loss South Williamsport team?
And that's a good possibility, especially with South Williamsport's big win yesterday against Northwest. A lot of that stuff comes into gets accounted for.
Yep. And so really all that is a really long and complicated way to say the Red Tornadoes are likely going to have Bloomsburg at home next week.
Correct, yeah. And just wanted to point out that I did hear the PA announcer a little bit more clear this time around, and number 26 is Malachi Peffer.
Okay, cool.
That is who just carried the ball there for a nice gain of, looks like she's almost 9.5. if we're counting half yards out here, which we're not. But
so again, the Red Tornadoes expecting to see the Bloomsburg Panthers at home next week. And Peffer again bounces around. And the Red Tornadoes had a good showing against the Panthers last time they encountered each other at the Silver Bowl.
Yes, they did.
That was part of this Red Tornado win streak they've been on.
Just want to give a quick shout out, guy that we didn't see in there last time around, Danny Velasquez, number 13 at safety, coming up to make that tackle there on Peffer.
Minute 40 left in the game here. The Red Tornadoes are on top 49-14. The Indians do seem to have some visions of punching another one in. They give it to Adams, and he'll do just that. So number 30, Corey Adams, in from 9 yards out, and it's 49-20. His scoreboard will start to look a little bit different maybe than it did for most of the night.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, too, where, the Indians at this point seems like they're kind of just playing for pride.
Yeah. Yep.
They're trying, like you said, trying to make this look respectable. Just the thing that you're happy about is, kind of the things that went on in the first half there late. A lot of flags being thrown, personal fouls, ejections, things like that. Doesn't seem like it has spilled over too much here into the second half.
No.
You thought with this lead kind of getting out of hand that may happen.
Yeah.
But thankfully it did not.
Yep. So the Indians certainly want to have some momentum themselves, because like we said, they're going to have a week off next week. They're likely to have a week off next week. Just because of the way District 4 is, it's a District 4 Class 4A is smaller. I think there's only 8 teams in the whole thing, and they're going to take 4 of them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they'll start kind of in the semifinal round of the playoffs, which will be the weekend of, today's the 29th, the 12th and the 13th.
Yes.
Is when they'll start. So the Indians are going to have a week off. Again, they'll likely go to Selinsgrove, as they'll be the 3 seed. Now, unfortunately, the last time they had any, last time they encountered Selinsgrove, they did lose 33-0. But that was early in the season. It's a different team now. I think
it is, for sure.
I think a lot of teams feel like, they like their chances in week 11 or week 12 more than, maybe they did in week 3 or 4.
I would have to say so, because even, I even say with these Red Tornadoes, I mean, how well they've come along throughout this whole season. Now in week 10, the emergence of some of these guys that we weren't sure how they were going to do, or if they were going to be able to translate everything. But and then you have them out here now. I put this Red Tornado team up against any other team to play against now this far into the season. Rather, I've even heard a lot of people say that, you take this Red Tornado team in week 10 and play against North Schuylkill in week 1, and the outcome may be different.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything, crazy about saying that. A good return there by Lukowski out to the 24. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people, and at this point of the season, all you can really hope for is that you're going into, district playoffs with some sort of momentum, and that you like your squad. And I think the Red Tornadoes can say both of those things. Yeah,
and a couple guys got banged up here this week, but the good news is we saw some guys come back from injury. We're seeing some guys come back from injury this week, with Davitt and Stellar both playing, both sides of the ball, stuff like that. And you want to just maintain that health. It was nice to be able to get an early lead and kind of get these guys out of the game early, with less chance of any sort of injury or anything happening, so that moving forward for this game, for, like you said, the playoffs, you got some momentum, you're on a win streak, and you're mostly healthy.
Yeah, since losing to Southern in week 5, the Red Tornadoes are now 40 seconds away from reeling off 5 straight.
Correct.
To go into the playoffs. So that's about all you can ask for. Good run there by Zarski. Pick up 6. 2nd and 4th to 32. That'll be Zarski again. And he's still on his feet somehow, out near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's another really good run there by Zarski.
And again, we talked about all the Red Tornadoes and how there's 8 or 9 of them that have rushed for 100 yards. I got every reason to believe Zarski would have been one of them had not, he suffered the injury and been out for I think 5 weeks or so.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty extended amount of time there for Zarski with his injury, but that's gonna do it, Jim.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes aren't going to have to run another play. The clock hits 0, and now for the 25th consecutive season, the Coal Bucket will reside in Mount Carmel for the next 12 months.
Yeah, Jim, just as the looks like the rain starts to finally die down, these Red Tornadoes are going to be able to do their celebration with the bucket.
And I see Larry out there right now because and maybe this is, again, I'm biased. It's been 25 years. We've seen Mount Carmel win. The picture on the front of the paper tomorrow of the Red Tornadoes with the coal bucket that I'm sure Larry's about to take is one of my favorite pictures of the year.
Absolutely, yeah. And you see all the whole team running over there. They're all looking for it right now.
Right.
There's Davitt going hunting for it. He's going to go get it from the cheerleaders, I believe.
Yep. And now the celebration officially begins.
Yeah. And it's, as a Red Tornado, it's nice to have always been on the celebration side and not having to walk off of your home field while another team celebrates on it. It's gotta be tough for the Indians. And like I said, fortunately, I should say for me, I've never had to experience that, but it has to be a difficult feeling to see the visiting team on your home field celebrating, getting pictures taken, stuff like that.
On the Red Tornado side, you've got Davitt, Feliciano, Stellar. Who else we got here? Dalton Moser, Kenny Wetzel, Michael Keir, Seth Smith. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but that's really where you're at from a senior class perspective. And now the students are going to storm the field too, which is fun to see. But that's another class here at Mount Carmel that went 4-0, Dan.
Yeah, yes it is, and there's been a lot of those in recent years.
Yep.
So this is, and you know what? These fans, they deserve to be out there too. They stuck it out here in the rain all game long, waiting for this opportunity, and nothing. It takes me back to the days of the creature bleachers at Mount Carmel, when the student section would wait until at the last second would tick off the clock, and they wouldn't even come around the fence. They'd all jump over that creature bleacher fence down onto the field and come celebrate with the team.
So I think in the interest of everybody here, the cold, the rain, the wet, we can go ahead and kind of wrap things up tonight. Again, we talked about it. Next week we'll be home. Again, if you're watching, you'll know. If you're watching this live, you'll know tomorrow. If you're watching it Wednesday, you already know who the Red Tornado opponent's going to be. Yeah. It's likely going to be the Bluebird Panthers. Likely. And my expectation is that it's a 1 o'clock or an early afternoon kickoff on Saturday. That's largely due to the officials, the lack of officials in District 4. Yeah. So you need to have games on Fridays and Saturdays. But again, the Red Tornado season will end at some point, but it's not going to be tonight. Yes. So no need to do kind of a post-mortem just yet. Hopefully, we can do that in another 5 or 6 weeks, maybe somewhere about an hour south of here. We'll see.
Yes, 6 weeks with the smell of chocolate in your nose is definitely where you want to be at.
So we'll see, but it's not going to be tonight here at Kemp Memorial Stadium, although it's a huge win for Mount Carmel. So we'll go ahead and get out of here again. I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
And for Jose Gonzalo, this has been a WKMC TV broadcast. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week back at the Silver Bowl.